The first box for Tuesday asks us to place a check mark by a correctly written compound sentence. Okay, Chase. To combine two sentences, you need two things. What are the two things you need to combine two sentences? Talked about them before. Kylie, what are those two things you need?
A comma and a fanboy.
Comma and a fanboy word. Kaylee, make sure we have our camera on, baby. But you're absolutely right. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for two complete sentences. I'm looking for commas and for a fanboy word, a conjunction. Sentence number 1 says baby sharks are 5 feet long at birth, but they grow to be around 15 feet long. Who can tell me what they think about sentence 1? Does sentence 1 get a check mark, or should I not give sentence 1 a check mark? What do you think, Kylie?
Check mark.
Sentence 1 does get a check mark. I've got two complete sentences. Baby sharks are 5 feet long at birth. And again, I can check that by saying I believe that. I believe that baby sharks are 5 feet long at birth. It all sounds good together. It all still makes sense. So there's one sentence. I believe that they grow to be around 15 feet long. Again, makes sense on its own. That's a good sentence. I have a comma. I have a fanboy word. I have everything I need. Sentence 1 does get a check mark. Sentence 2. Baby sharks swim away from their mothers at birth, or their mothers might see them as prey. Baby sharks swim away from their mothers at birth, or their mothers might see them as prey. Who can tell me for sentence 2? Should sentence 2 get a check mark, or should it not? Alexa, what do you think? Check mark or no check mark?
No, because it doesn't have a comma, but it does have a fanboy word.
You're right. It's got two complete sentences. Baby sharks swim away from their mothers at birth. Their mothers might see them as prey. It has a conjunction, a fanboy word, but no comma. Sentence 3. Great white sharks are the largest ocean predators, and they can swim 40 miles per hour. Does sentence 3 get a check mark or no check mark? Jadine, what do you think?
I think a check mark because it has the word and in it.
You're right. It's got a conjunction, but we said we need two things. What's the other thing we need?
A comma.
Does it have that?
No.
No. If it doesn't have both things, then it's not combined correctly. So sentence
Mr.
3, even though it does have the conjunction, doesn't get a check mark.
But like, what else can be besides and? Like, what else word?
So remember, any of our fanboy words, and we use that word because each letter tells us a different word. So FANBOYS. We have
Oh.
for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so.
Oh, okay.
Any of those words, any of those conjunctions can be used to combine two complete sentences, but I can't just use a conjunction. If I have two complete sentences, two sentences that could be fine by themselves, but I'm trying to put them together, I need a conjunction and I need a comma. I can't just have one or the
Okay.
other.
Thank you for telling me.
No problem. Okay, let me pull these over because I'm going to need. But we practiced a bit with this yesterday. We have some words that have prefixes. So we're going to find the prefix. We're going to find the root, and then we're going to put down what that word means. The first word they gave us is unnecessary. What's the prefix? Or what do you think the prefix is? Violet, what do you think? What do you think the prefix is in unnecessary?
Un.
Very, very good. Remember, prefixes are always at the beginning of the words, and they're usually about 2 to 3 letters. Un is our prefix, which our root word is necessary. Who can tell me, what do you think unnecessary means? We say that something is unnecessary. What are we saying about it? Kylie, what do you think unnecessary?
Not necessary.
Okay, but what does that mean if you say something is not necessary?
Like if
No one make sure we're paying attention.
it means if like someone didn't know the answer and
That's not a bad guess, but that would be uncertain. So uncertain would mean that you don't know for sure, that you're kind of like, I don't know, it's either A or it's B, but I'm not sure. Unnecessary, you're right. It means not necessary, but necessary means that you need something. So, for example, right now for our work, a computer is necessary, right? Because
mm-hmm.
without the computer, we can't do our DLR, we can't work on iStation, or we can't work on Imagine Math or anything else. So it's necessary. Now, let's say
Getting a
something
snack.
like crayons.
Yeah,
Crayons are not necessary
necessary.
because I can't take a crayon and write on my screen on my computer to change my answers, can I?
Mm-mm.
No. So unnecessary means not needed. Something you do not need.
Mm.
So if it's necessary, that means that you need it. If it's unnecessary, it means you do not need it. Or you can just say not needed. Either one works. Yes, Kylie.
I keep on trying to click on the purple box, but it keeps on leading me to other, what's it called? Other parts of the paper.
No, you clicked on it right now.
I know, because it's because every time I click on it, it will lead me to the other side of the whole entire page.
Okay, but you're able to
Everybody's
get to it and write in it?
comments are all. Wait,
I'm
what?
sorry, hold on, Nakai. You're able to still write in it and everything?
Yeah, but every time I click on it, it just leads to other parts of the page. And then when I try to click on where the yellow boxes are, it led me to the second. It led me to Monday's page.
I don't know why it's doing that to you. It might have something to do with your zoom. If you're too zoomed in or too zoomed out. But so long as you can actually click on them and write in them, then you'll be okay. You might just
Okay.
have to move your screen back when it tries to move. Okay, Nakai, what were you trying to say, sir? Did you have a question, Nakai, or no? No, they didn't come through, Nakai. I couldn't hear you. Well, I don't think your microphone's working. Try typing it in the chat if you have a question, sir. Yes, Bella. Okay. What about the next word? Illegible. Illegible. What's the prefix for illegible? Kaylee, what do you think the prefix is?
Ill.
Ill.
Everyone's,
Sorry, try again, Nakai.
everybody's.
It keeps cutting you off. Just type it in the chat, Nakai. Because your microphone's not wanting to cooperate with you today. Who can take a guess? Who can tell me what they think? What does illegible mean? What do you think it might mean? Kaylee, what do you think? What does it mean if something's illegible?
Everybody froze.
No, Kaylee.
Not clear.
That's not a bad way to put it. So, illegible, the prefix does mean not. Illegible means that you can't read it. So, legible is like when someone's writing. If they write very nicely, very neatly, it's very easy for you to read. That's legible. So, if you say that something is illegible, you're saying that it's written, but it's written very, I guess you could say very, like, messy, very sloppy, where you can't read it. So you're not able to read it. Yes, Jadine.
I'm ready for the next one.
Oh, you ready for the next one? Well, tell me. Incorrect. What's the prefix?
Prefix is in.
Okay, in. That means that our root word is correct.
And can I say like what it means?
Sure. What do you think it means? Incorrect.
It means something's not correct.
Okay. What does that mean to be correct?
Like if you get an answer correct or if you don't get it correct.
Okay, not a bad example. So it means that it's not right.
It's not right.
Right. But that was a great example. Like an answer to a question can be correct or incorrect. It can be right or not right. All right. Our sentence. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what mistakes they left or what mistakes they weren't able to find. The sentence says, Mom gave me permission to go to Grandma's house after school. Yes, Chase, I answered that earlier. Mom gave me permission to go to Grandma's house after school. What's one mistake that we can find that's still in this sentence? Jaylene?
Um, two is spelled wrong.
Okay. Which one?
The one that's right next to permission.
Okay, this one. Spelled wrong. How should I spell it if I want it to be correct?
You put T-O, but do not put two O's.
Very good. That kind of 2 is the wrong kind of 2 because there are actually 3 different kinds of 2. If I put 2 O's, that means I'm saying either also or I'm saying a lot. Like if I say, oh, I want to go too, that means I want to go also. Or if I say, I put too much hot sauce on my popcorn, that means I'm putting a lot. Answer that question 3 times now. Yes, Nakai. Kylie, what's another mistake?
Permission is spelled wrong.
Okay, how should I spell it?
Permisson.
Almost. S-S.
Oh wait, ION.
Very good. S-S-I-O-N. But you're right, permission is not spelled correctly. So there's another spelling mistake. Well, no, I've answered it not while you were in the restroom, sir. Before. What's another one? There's still some mistakes here that are hanging out in our sentence. Jada, what do you think? What's another mistake that's hiding out in our sentence? Has to be what?
You got me right?
Very good. Capitalize. The M in mom has to be capitalized. To capitalize the M in mom, we have to spell permission correct. We have to spell to correctly. There's still some mistakes. There's still, let's see. There's still 2 mistakes that's left. Bella, what's another mistake? Which O? The O's not capitalized right now, but it shouldn't be. So it should be lowercase. But good thing to notice, normally letters in the middle of words don't get capitalized. Shouldn't be. Alexa, can you find one of the 2 mistakes that are left? Still 2 more. Capitalize the M in mom. We need to spell permission correctly. We need to spell to correctly. Yeah. What's the next one, Alexa? There's 2 more.
Put a period in the end of the sentence.
Put a period at the end of the sentence, definitely. There's no one asking anything. There's no one shouting anything. Oh, actually, my fault. There were 3, so we've got 2 left. 2 things that we need to fix. Nadine, can you find one?
You don't put an S after grandma.
You do. It's there for a reason. You're close to one of the mistakes. Actually, both mistakes that are left are in that same word. That word has 2 things wrong with it.
Do you capitalize the G?
You do capitalize the G. Because in this case, we're using it like her name. Because if I replace grandma with Jadine, for example, the sentence would still make sense. Mom gave me permission to go to Jadine's house. So that sentence is still fine, which means grandma is her name there, which means it should be capitalized. Who can tell me there's one last thing, one mistake that is left in the word grandma's? And Jadine was very, very close. It has something to do with that S. Jaylene, do you know what that last mistake could be?
put a comma?
But not a comma. There's something. Ooh, the name has a big clue in it. Because it doesn't sit on the ground, it goes.
Apostrophe?
Very good. We put an apostrophe. We put an apostrophe in front of that S because the house belongs to grandma. And since it's grandma's house, the apostrophe with the S shows that it belongs to her. Because otherwise, Jadine is right. If I just leave the S the way it is, it sounds like there's like a group of grandmas. And that's not what's going on. So we should have capital M, mom, gave me permission, but spelled correctly, PERMISSION, to, spelled correctly, PO, go, to, capital, grandma, apostrophe, S, house, after, school, period. But people get those two things mixed up a lot, Jaylene. So just remember, that's the way I always remember it, is apostrophes go up. Commas stay on the ground. Okay. Comparative and superlative. We talked about these yesterday. So when you have an adjective, you're just describing one thing. You have, I guess you could say it's regular version or the regular form of it. So the first one they give us is deep. Maybe something like a puddle on the ground. It's a deep puddle. Kaylee, let's make sure we're paying attention, okay? But when you start to compare things, you have two things that you're talking about. Let's say a puddle and a swimming pool. The puddle is deep, but the swimming pool is what? What's that word we would use? The comparative form of deep. Kylie, what do you think? What do you think, Kylie? What would I put there? If I'm comparing two things, it wouldn't be deep, it would be what? Deeper. Very good. I have to add the ER ending to it. What if it was superlative? If I said that puddle is deep, but my swimming pool is deeper, but the ocean is the what? Okay?
Deeper.
Very good. I have to use the EST ending. All right. Green. So green if I'm just describing one thing. I don't know, my shirt is green. But the crayon is what? If I'm going to compare my shirt and the crayon. Jada?
Greener.
Greener. I have to add the ER ending. And what if I'm using not the comparative, but the superlative? My shirt is green. That crayon is greener. But the leaves on that tree, those are the... Kylie? Screenest. Again, I need that EST ending. Okay. Heavy. Something could be heavy, right? I don't know, a paperweight or something like that. This paperweight is heavy. But that box is what? Christopher? Heavier. Now, heavy is a little bit different when it becomes comparative and even superlative. The beginning is the same, HEAV, but instead of a Y, IER. Heavier. Well, this paperweight is heavy. That box is heavier, but the truck in the front, the truck is the what? Nadine?
I was ready for the next question, sorry.
Well, what do you think about this one? We have heavy, heavier if I'm talking about two things, but if I'm talking about three or more, it's
Heaviest.
heaviest. And it's spelled very similar to heavier. The Y has to become an I. HEAVIEST. Heaviest. What about little? Something could be little. I don't know. Maybe like a dog or a stuffed toy. So my dog is little, but um, let's see, what could be smaller? Oh, my dog is little, but his toys are what? What's the comparative I could use? Nakai, what do you think?
Littler.
Littler. Okay. And since it already
Mister,
has an E at the end, I don't have to add a second one. Well, what if what if I'm comparing more than two things? My dog is little, his toys are littler, and an ant is the Kylie? An ant is the what? Littlest. And again, I don't have to add a second E, I can just use the one at the end of the word.
Mister,
Yes, ma'am.
I collect miniature stuff, and the last time I went to a restaurant, there's a gift shop, and my mom brought me a tiny pottery, because I collect it.
Oh, that's cool.
Came with a tiny hat.
So those would be good ones to use for like littler and littlest. You could compare the size of those things.
Yeah. There's like a bunch of miniature stuff I have that I collect.
Yeah, so when you're describing those, if you were gonna write about those in a prompt, you could say, I don't know, maybe my hat that I collect is little, but the jar is littler because you're comparing the two sizes.
I have a whole box that's this big that is full of miniature stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, last question for Tuesday. We have two sentences. They want us to combine them correctly. Sharks swim very fast. They can travel hundreds of miles in a day. Those are our two sentences, and they give us three options to choose from. A. Sharks swim very fast, so they can travel hundreds of miles in a day. B. Sharks swim very fast, or they can travel hundreds of miles in a day. Or C. Sharks swim very fast, they can travel hundreds of miles in a day. Who can tell me what their choice was? Which one do you think was the best? Was it A? Was it B? Or was it C? Which one did you think was the best answer choice? Violet, what do you think? A, B, or C?
B.
B. Sharks swim very fast, or they can travel hundreds of miles in a day. It does have a comma, it has a conjunction, which is good. But there's a better answer choice than B. There's something we can choose that works a little bit better than that. What's the answer choice that works better than answer choice?
A.
Answer choice A. There's one big difference between those answer choices, Violet. Can you tell me what the big difference is? What's the difference between answer choice A and answer choice B? What's that difference, Violet?
It says so instead of or.
It says so instead of or. They both have commas, they both have conjunctions, but we have to be careful about which conjunction we're using. Some conjunctions we use for one thing, some we do for another. If I use the conjunction or, that's saying that there's a choice. Like if I said, Violet, do you want strawberry ice cream or do you want chocolate ice cream? You have a choice, right? You can choose either strawberry or chocolate. In answer choice B, the sharks aren't making a choice. The shark doesn't wake up in the morning and go, do I swim fast or should I travel very far? Swim fast or travel very far? They're not choosing. They swim very fast, and because they swim very fast, they're able to travel very far. If I use the conjunction so, that tells me there's a cause and an effect. The cause is they swim very fast. The effect is they're able to travel very far. So the best answer choice they gave me was answer choice A. So here's our whole page. These are what our correct answers should be. Give you a minute here to go back and fix anything that you might need to, or correct anything that you might need to.